Hey, it's Etan, and I'm in San Pedro celebrating the elder statesman of California lighthouses, the Point Fermin Lighthouse, celebrating 150 years this year. It was constructed in 1874, and it's the sole extant example of a California lighthouse from that era. It was the very first navigational aid built to help people sailing around the LA harbor. The LA harbor had been an active one since at least the 1840s, but by the time this was constructed in the early 1870s, things were definitely starting to pick up. So Phineas Banning, the father of the Port of LA, had constructed Southern California's very first railroad to go in between downtown Los Angeles and the port. As early as the 1850s, Banning had requested a lighthouse be built right here. Eventually, the federal government acquired the land, and the lighthouse went into operation on December 15th, 1874. The original building combined a light tower and a residence for the lightkeepers of the time. The first two lightkeepers were two sisters, Mary and Ella Smith. They stayed here for the first 8 years until they resigned because they said it was too lonely. I mean, there was almost literally nobody else around this area when they were working here. It was built in Victorian style, very standard for the time, so a lot of wood siding on both the light tower and the bottom part of it, some decorative brackets. It would have been a really nice place to have in any neighborhood of the time, except for the 6600 candle power light that was rotating around, blinding passersby. It was outfitted with a very classy Fresnel lens, best you could get at the time, that projected the light that was coming from inside the lantern. So at first it was lit with whale oil, and then as technology improved, so did the light. Eventually in 1925 it was electrified. This lighthouse was in operation until just a couple days after the attack at Pearl Harbor. At that point, the Coast Guard shut off the light, removed the lens, painted the entire building wartime green, and then the Navy built this sort of chicken coop looking structure around the former lantern tower that they used as a lookout tower. And then for the next 30 years, the light just remained off. Advancements in radar and building of two other lighthouses at Angel's Gate and Point Vicente, it kind of made the Point Fermin Lighthouse obsolete. In the 1970s, a group of volunteers got together to restore it. So they removed that ugly chicken coop thing, restored the lantern room, brought in a different lens, and installed it just in time for its 100th anniversary in 1974. Later on, they were even able to find the original lens that was in the lighthouse just before World War II. It was in a real estate office in Malibu, and now it's sitting in the museum on the bottom floor. In 2018, the Coast Guard formally transferred Point Fermin Lighthouse to the city of Los Angeles. They work with a local nonprofit to run tours, keep up the grounds, and run a gift shop and house museum. In addition to the lighthouse itself, there are a few outbuildings and defensive structures that are collectively listed on the National Register of Historic Places as the Point Fermin Historic District. So that includes a couple cisterns that the lightkeepers used to collect rainwater, an original storehouse, a coal house, and privy. There's the domestic yard out here that they would keep up for gardening and just playing around. And there's also this naval detection defense system, which was used to relay information from right on the coast up to the batteries that are located further inland. All of this stuff complements the lighthouse and contributes to its 150 years of history. It is really incredible to have this relic of the late 1800s and of many eras of maritime and military history standing sentinel in the same place that it always did. Thanks for doing LA with me.